Welcome to The Long Road. My name is Chris Roberts. I'm your host. And we're going to talk about a number of things today as we get ready for the school elections next week. There's 5 people running for election. I don't endorse anyone. I don't tell people who to vote. That is your responsibility. But I'll tell you that the Keene Sentinel, last week's Keene Sentinel gave a pretty good format for everyone who's running for the school board to say their piece to the local public. So the public has the opportunity to put 3 new members on the school board or re-elect one of the members that are running and put 2 new people. Either way, we're going to have a minimum of 2 new people on the school board. And next year and the year after are going to be pretty critical as cuts are continuing from the state level and cuts are going to continue from the federal level. So we will end this show talking about new ways to better educate our children and how to get the most out of our money and our resources. But we're going to talk about a few things prior to that. And one of the things we're going to talk about some myths about Congress. Everybody talks about Congress, their pay, their pension, the whole works. And one of the things is member of Congress get full pension for life after serving just 1 term. Well, that's incorrect. A member of Congress has to serve a minimum of 5 years of service if they're 62 years and older, but they will only receive a partial pension. To qualify for a pension, a member of Congress must be one of the following service and age requirements: 5 years of service and over 62, 20 years of service and age 50. So if you're a congressman or a senator and you get elected at age 30 and you retire at 50, then you would be able to get a pension. Or 25 years of service at any age. Joe Biden, the old bird from West Virginia, Thurman from South Carolina, they would have got a pension because they've almost been there for their whole lives. And so, like the military retirement system, the middle one, congressional retirement pay is calculated in a combination of the average high 3 years of service and a multiplier based on the length of service. So, plain and simple, that's how it's done. And it's worth pointing out that members of Congress contribute to their own retirement plan and pay into Social Security. Once retired, their COLAs are artificially held below the CPI. So again, there is no great pension for Congress in that go 4 years, go 2 terms, 3 terms for a congressman, 1 term for the senator. Nope, there's time of service requirements and age requirements, and members of Congress must pay into the retirement fund and they must pay into Social Security. It goes, member of Congress don't have to pay for the health care. Members of Congress and their staff are eligible for the same health care insurance as federal citizens, and they pay the same premium. One of the most popular plans of the FEHBP costs beneficiaries roughly $350 a month for family coverage and $150 a month for individual coverage. Again, members of Congress don't get free health care. They have to pay just like most of the Americans, workers have to. Yes, you may see members of Congress using Bethesda, but some of them get to use Bethesda based on their active duty and then their retirement status. And starting in 2014, the members of Congress and their staff will be required to participate in a health care exchange created under the National Health Care Reform. Again, Congress is not going to have the Cadillac plan. They're not going to be in some plan that the average American will be in. Congress is mandated. Also, the law states Congress receive a pay increase each year. pegged at 0.5% below less than average Americans as measured by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, unless it specifically passed legislation to stop it. Okay, however, Congress has voted to give up any pay raise for each of the past 3 years. In 2012, members of Congress will collect a salary of $174,000. Senior leadership, like the whip, Speaker of the House, they get extra money. So yes, Congress isn't voting on its pay raise. Matter of fact, it's been voting for the last 3 years not to accept the pay raise. And if I remember correctly, the minimum salary for an NFL football player is something like $438,000. And so basically, you could be on special teams on the NFL and sitting the bench more than that, and you're going to make 1.5 times more than a member of Congress. But the money's low, but the power is high. That's the reason why some people spend 10, 20 million of their own money just to get elected to the U.S. Senate or Congress. Another one that's really kind of up in the air that I didn't realize, and most people I don't think realized, as we're talking about the availability of contraceptives and the availability of abortion services, where I may not, I would not want my wife or my daughters to have an abortion, but I don't think it's my prerogative to prevent someone else from having an abortion, because that's a personal choice for the woman, or if there's or between the husband and wife, or the woman and the father of their child. And so I think the state should have limited input on it. But right now, there's a woman in Idaho who is arrested for terminating a pregnancy with the abortion pill. She used the RU-486, which is legal, and because a lot of women no longer had the availability to get an abortion or use abortion services, a lot of women are getting the the RU-486 through the mail. And Idaho has a 24-hour wait, so this young lady would have to drive down to Salt Lake City, the closest one, go in, and then go back. Utah has a 1 day late, then come back, and so she may have to make 2 round trips or come up with hotel fees. Well, there's an old law dated back. Idaho has a 1972 law, never before enforced, make it a crime punishable for 5 years in prison for a woman to induce her own abortion. And so that goes in, where does life begin? And so what we're saying is, basically, you take an RU-486, and in Idaho, you can be subject up to 5 years in prison. And so that's one of the things is people are talking about contraceptives and other things. Basically, you take a contraceptive, or some cases, or like I said, the RU-486 pill, then like you said, you're violating the law in Idaho. I don't know about other states, but that's some of the consequences when people are rushing to put laws in. And I find it really strange that we have people that don't want to have people be provided contraceptives. Up in the State House, Speaker O'Brien, Majority Leader Bettencourt, they're pushing this week to basically state that no employee in the state of New Hampshire, not even counting the church, does not have to provide contraceptives in their health care plan. But these are the same people that want to cut services to family health, services to education. So they want to cut all the things that are really important to families, and now they say, you know what, don't have contraceptives. They feel if there's no contraceptives, I guess they think if there's no contraceptives, people won't get involved in intercourse, and if people don't get involved in intercourse, then we don't have the problem with unwedded children. Well, again, that goes down to there's a lot of well-educated women who have the ability to earn enough money to support their family. And so, again, I don't think that's the state or the government's responsibility to tell some woman, because you're not married, you can engage in intercourse or you cannot have children. If I have a PhD from college, I'm in my 30s, and I'm making $100,000 a year, why can't I have children if I so want to? Another thing that I found really kind of curious was Google has changed its, its privacy rules, and basically you're having less and less privacy with Google. And Google isn't the only one. When I was living in California, my wife and my 3 daughters, and I felt it was kind of strange because there was a certain time in the month they'd be coming ads and special coupons off for feminine products. And I was going, what's going on? And then I asked my wife and was looking. She had one of those swipe cards, and basically the store, which was Vons, was keeping track of everything and every time they bought something, and so that's how they targeted it. And there was a major realtor, basically not realtor, but a retailer, who assigns each shopper a unique code known as the guest ID number. This keeps tabs on everything they buy. If you use a credit card or coupon or fill out a survey or mail in a refund or call the customer helpline or open an email, we will send you that we sent you or visit to your website. We record it and we will link it to your guest ID. We want to know everything that we can. Also linked to your guest ID is demographic information like your age, whether you're married, you have kids, which part of town you live in, how long it takes you to drive to work, your estimate salary, whether you moved recently, which credit cards you carry in your wallet, websites you visit. This individual can buy data about your ethnicity, job history, the magazines you read, and if you declared bankrupt or got divorced. This year you bought or lost, or lost your house, where you went to college, what kind of topics you talk about online, whether you prefer certain brands of coffee, paper towels, cereal, applesauce, your political leanings, reading habits, charitable giving, and the number of e-cars you own. This is what retailers have. And it seems whether it's Walmart, Target, Kohl, you name it, basically they keep track. So if you run in and you use your credit card or debit card, every single thing that you bought on that is automatically linked to this ID card, this special ID they have. And so what they're even doing right now is when you go get a catalog in the mail, what they're doing is they're actually making that catalog specially for you. And it'll look like the same, but they may be 5 or 6 pages in that catalog that says, okay, Mr. Roberts has so many grandkids, boys and girls. This is what Mr. Roberts buys. And so what they'll do is send that special catalog. And what was found really strange, there was an individual, this man was quite upset because this store was able to track what women buy if they're pregnant, what they buy in their first trimester, second trimester, and they knew if they could get the individuals in the second trimester, most of the women would stay with them and become new customers. And so what happened was the Target sent, this retailer sent the thing to the family, and the father got really upset because it implied that his daughter was pregnant. And he goes, nope, my daughter's not pregnant, you're insulted. And what happened was this retailer knew that his daughter was pregnant before her father even knew about it. That's how specific they were able to do, based on the type of hand cream you bought and whatever. To me, it's Americans, we want everything so easy, quick and easy, but I don't think we realize how much of our identity, how much of our personal information that we're giving up. And so, you know, cash may be king, and cash may keep your private information private. Credit cards and debit cards, they're really easy, but you don't realize what you're giving up when you do that. And so, you know, it's just food for thought, and basically almost get to the point. I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'm not a free stater that Big Brother's looking on me and all this other kind of stuff. But, you know, it's just like to have a few days when no one knows who you are, where you are, what you're buying, and you know, it's one of those questions. Do we go in the United States basically where we have to opt out, or do we go to the Europe model where we have to opt in? But again, in the United States, with our politicians on the laws, we have to opt out. So if you choose not to opt out, you have given complete okay for them to collect any information that they want on you to help market products to you. It's the same way the politicians do. This article talked about how President Obama has hired a few of these individuals to collect the same information on every single American. I guess I talked about that about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I have a concern, and that's why I never answer any of the calls that come from Obama America. If I want to talk to him, I'll talk to him, but not on the telephone. Hey, I have no problem, but if I want to be recorded, it's on my own terms, not because I happen to pick up the phone. So moving on to some lighter things. This Sunday, I spent about 5.5 hours back down in the Museum of Fine Art in Boston. A great place, again, quality education. And I saw 2 women, and they had a number of kids. They looked like inner city kids. There was about 8 or 9 of them. They were in there. They were getting art. They were drawing. Of course, like 5, 6-year-olds, they don't draw as well, but they were there drawing, and they were getting the opportunity to enjoy the museum. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. I've got about 6 minutes, and I think I've done about 132 of the fine paintings that I was able to take pictures of in the museum. To me, it's just an awesome, it's a great feeling. I've seen a lot of these pictures in magazines when I was growing up as a kid, but it's just really awesome to be able to stand there and look at them, look at the details of the masters. The first one that shows off, it's the Madonna with the child, and you to see the light that's in there. That light is from the painter. That light has nothing to do with the electrical light. So what we're going to do is we'll go to the clip, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about education. Well, welcome back. I was mesmerized by those paintings. I recommend anybody who gets the chance to go down to the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. It's only $22 to get in. The weekends it's open for about 6-7 hours. Bring the children. It's just a really great place to be. I've got a number of other photos of paintings, but they may have been, as we say, a little bit inappropriate because sometimes what people think is great art, other people think is pornography. But if you look at great art and what other ones in there, I don't see any pornography in it whatsoever. But I'm not going to judge for anybody. It's up to them to decide what art is and what pornography is. About 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to go to an education conference in San Antonio, Texas. While at the education conference, I talked to the state superintendent of schools because he had given a presentation. One of the things that they had, what was called dual enrollment. And basically they had worked with businesses and the community college, and kids, they either 9th, 10th, 11th, or even 12th grade could enroll in the community school, community college, some for so they could get job training, vocational training, others to get a jump start on college. He had given a few examples where there were some kids who had to miss their community college graduation because Texas law required them to graduate from high school. They had doing high school classes and they're doing college classes, and basically they graduated from both within a 2-week period. And it wasn't for all kids, but it was for some. The majority of the kids that were in the program usually graduated 1 or 2 semesters after. Some of the kids with vocational training went right into high-tech jobs or into machinist jobs, like working for the aircraft companies, which require highly skilled machinists. And so the question was, did these kids really need to spend 4 years in high school then to go to community college? Texas had worked out an arrangement. If you took, instead of taking 11th grade history, you took History 101 of Western civilization, or history of the, if you had to take American history, you took history of the American Civil War or history of America in the 1800s. And the children got credit in the college and they got credit at the high school, so they met all their requirements. And so I was always impressed by it. So I went to another conference with Excellence in Education. It's an organization run by Jeb Bush, former governor of Florida. Florida is quite involved in dual enrollment. I think the recent number was like 140,000 high school kids are also working in dual enrollment in college and in high school. Not only are they getting a better quality education, they're also saving their parents a heck of a lot of money. And the question is, who pays? The state of Florida and a few other states, they help support it. And I think one of them I had is the state pays 50% and the local community pays 50%. And there's some people say, no, it's not right. The kids are too immature to handle college courses. They're just not smart enough. And so I went back. It was kind of strange that if we go in the past, in the 1800s, you had to be 16 years old to go to the military academy or the Naval Academy, and they had 4 years of rigorous training, education. You go back to Harvard and Yale and Penn, they had students as young as 14 going to those schools and they produced some highly educated people who ended up becoming doctors and lawyers and some of the founding fathers of our country. We talk about kids being immature at 14, 15, 16 years old. When I went around the country this summer, you'd be surprised how many 15, 16-year-old kids who basically got together, man and woman, got into their wagons and drove across, rode across what was then the wild frontier to find homes. I went to Fort Laramie, and a lot of people don't understand is that the United States Army hired 13-year-old immigrant girls from Ireland to man the outpost to wash the clothes and take care of a whole bunch of housework and a whole bunch of other stuff. They got $1 a month from each soldier. They took care of it. We talk about immaturity. Could you just picture your 13-year-old daughter going 2,000 miles away to to go to the Wyoming Territory or the Montana Territory and work self-sufficient, and you may never ever see your child again. Right now, we call a 13-year-old immature. We don't even trust a 13-year-old. Let's 14, 15, 16-year-old. You can go to cemeteries around here and across the country, girls 13, 14, 15 years old dying in childbirth. And so maybe it's us as the adults that underestimate the ability of our children. Maybe it's us as adults that are holding them back. It's not for everybody, but there's no doubt in my mind that we're holding a lot of them back. In Michigan, it has it, and Michigan has just nobody can show up. There's testings. For example, Michigan has the PSAT, it has the ACT, it has the MME, the Michigan Merit Exam, and it has another one, it's called PLAN. And so basically, they get the content: reading, writing, math, science, English, social studies, and is a minimum dual enrollment qualification score. So it's just not the teacher saying you can do it. You've got to pass the test. So on the Michigan Merit Examination, if you get a score of 1,100 in reading, writing, math, or science, or social studies, you're qualified to go to University of Michigan, Michigan State, other community colleges to take dual enrollment courses. You can take them after school, you can take them on the weekends, you can take some in the summer. There's a limit of how many you can take, but they have the rules. The Arizona has a great one, Indiana has a great one, Tennessee, the dual enrollment is funded by the Tennessee Lottery and is administered by the, the Tennessee Student Assistance Corporation. This program provides opportunities for students to begin working towards a college degree while still pursuing a high school diploma, and encourage post-secondary educations and the acceleration of post-secondary attainment. Again, eligibility and participation requirements. Tennessee has 14 of them, and have completed all the academic requirements of 10th grade high school sophomore and be classified as 11th grade high school junior or 12th grade high school senior by the student's eligible high school. Click here. Apply for the grant in the junior or senior year. Complete or submit dual enrollment application and the additional cost agreement online by the deadline. Meet admissions criteria for dual enrollments for the post-secondary institution to which the student will enroll as a dual enrollment. So if you go to University of Tennessee, Vanderbilt, you have to meet their requirements. So again, it's just not an easy walk in the park. You have to do what you need to do. Awards amounts up to $300 per semester for one course, for an additional course per semester, with a total semester amount not to exceed $600 or $1,200 per academic year. The student must meet minimum Hope Scholarship academic requirements at the time of dual enrollment. Excuse me. The dual enrollment shall be used for lower division costs 1 to 200 or 1,200 or 1,000 to 200 post-secondary degree seeking costs. So again, pretty simple. Well, not simple, but all the requirements are stood out, stated plain. Having trouble speaking today. Pretty clear. And one of the things I'm going to end the show with is going to be a couple of about 11 minutes, and it's going to be Virginia and how they do the dual enrollment, and it's also going to be Arizona. And in some cases, the kids are sent to the local college. Here in Keene, at the Keene High School, we're going to do a few. In other cases, there's a certified instructor from the college, and that certified instructor is sent to the high school to provide the children the courses. And what's really good with that dual enrollment combined with the virtual high school, we would now have the ability excuse me, to provide courses to our students who can't even that we as a school district cannot afford to hire a teacher for. So if we had a student that wanted to take metallurgy and we just could not provide those courses, or was interested in geology, we couldn't provide those advanced courses, plain and simple, with dual enrollment, they could, and they meet the qualifications, they could enroll in Keene State College in some of those. Or basically we have students that are ahead of their class and we can't take care of them at the Career Center. If we did dual enrollment, they could do a dual enrollment right at the new technology center they're building at the college. Again, they would save money for the family. The child or student would be able to get a jump on graduation. And when you go in and look at Keene State College, the recent article in the Keene Sentinel, if you go full-time to Keene State College and you live on campus, it's going to cost $21,000 a year. And so if a child or a student was able to basically take 6 courses at Keene State College as a dual enrollment instead of taking an advanced placement or course at the high school, basically, and we credit the child for the high school. Yes, there's a question, does they get the college grade or they just get the credits? It all depends. Some schools will give you the college grade and other schools will just give you the credits. But either way, the child graduates, and plus, so if you get 6 credit, you take 6 courses at 4 each, that's 24 credits, or that's the equivalent of a year. So that would save, say, a Keene family $21,000 as the child has completed those courses. And to me, I think we need to work as a community, as a college system, to get better use of the limited resources we're going to have in the future. Yes, we in Keene need to cut a deal, work out, find a way to fund it, find a way to reduce the cost so it's benefit while providing quality education. We need to work with the community college, we need to work with Keene State College, we need to work with the virtual high school, and we need to do more for us children. We need to make our kids competitive. And in the recent one, we just had 707 out of approximately 1,600 kids in the high school that got honors or high honors. I think there was over 100 that had the highest of honors. One, if those 100 kids had the highest of honors, one of 2 things could be. Either there's grade inflation and they don't rate it, or 2, these kids are highly qualified and these kids would be capable of performing at the college level, at the college 1 in 200 courses. So why should we teach them something that they're going to have to take over again? Freshman English, history, freshman biology, freshman chemistry, freshman math. If these kids are in a high honors program, they are capable of doing it. And place simple, and it also gives us a good idea if there is grade inflation. Bill Gross, the head of PINCO, the world's largest bond fund, summed it up in no uncertain terms. Our labor force is too expensive and poorly educated for today's marketplaces. There are two variables here: our education levels, which are low, and our wages, which are high. Either we raise our education level or the markets will lower our wages. That's a pretty rough statement. He's basically telling us, if we don't raise our education standards, if we don't educate our kids better, their wages are going down. That's the free market. And I'll read it again. There are two variables here: our education level, which are low, and our wages, which are high. Either we raise our education level or the market will lower our wages. Well, to me, I don't want my grandchildren to have lower wages. I'm pretty sure you don't want your children or grandchildren to have lower wages. So now we're in a situation do we feel good about great grades? Do we feel good about getting a bumper sticker where we said our kids are on the honor roll? If your kids are on the honor roll, have you asked them what they've learned? And so basically, we need to stop and look at it. And so there's one really quickly, there's one on YouTube, Sal Khan, S-A-L-K-H-A-N. He produced a lot of classes. He has produced 3,000 videos teaching mostly math and science and been viewed over 80 million times on YouTube. MIT, other ones are providing classes free online to really improve the quality of the education for our children. So it's, again, I hope you enjoy this, these two clips, and I hope it gets you thinking. And I hope you go and demand from the school district, let's get this fixed, let's get a better education system for our kids. We need to get our money's worth. We need to ensure that our kids have a competitive future. So enough for that, and enjoy the clip, and I'll see you there on the long road. And there again, have a good day, and make sure you go out and vote next week.
Hello, my name is John Cavan. I'm the president of the Southside Virginia Community College. I'm on our campus to talk to you about the dual enrollment program. This is a unique premier program here at the college that gives high school students the opportunity to get a jump on higher education.
Lauren Andrews is a law school graduate and is a clerk for the Henrico County Circuit Court. She is one of the more than 15,000 students who have participated in Southside Virginia Community College's dual enrollment program. She was enrolled from 2002 through 2004 while attending Randolph Henry High School. She went on to the University of Virginia and the law school at William & Mary. For both Lauren and her father, dual enrollment made a big difference.
I really think that dual enrollment gave me a competitive advantage when it came to applying to schools. We're from such a small area, and no one in Virginia has heard of Randolph Henry High School, which is where I went, and it really gave me an edge. I got into UVA when they still had an early decision program, and it really, I think, gave me the ability to be able to get into such a good school. I don't think I would have had a chance without taking any dual enrollment classes.
Well, I think the dual enrollment program through Southside Virginia Community College, it was clearly cost effective. If you look at the cost today of a college class, the credits both our kids, Lauren and Patrick, received clearly saved us a significant amount of money. I think in addition to that, both of our kids were prepared to be effective and efficient in college from day one when they got there.
Dr. Ross Roberts is an assistant professor of accounting at High Point University. He was a dual enrollment student at Southside Virginia Community College from 1994 through 1996. After SVCC, Roberts went on to North Carolina A&T, the University of Delaware, and Drexel University, where he earned his Ph.D.
Dual enrollment at Southside did a couple things for me. First of all, it allowed me to improve my study habits and get prepared for the rigor of the courses that I would see at the college level. That was an advantage that some of the other students coming in that were just taking traditional high school courses did not have. Secondly, in my later years in undergrad, I was able to take electives that other students did not have the opportunity to take because of the dual enrollment courses that I brought over and got credit for at my university. And therefore, I was able to widen and deepen my knowledge base past that that I would have had without the dual enrollment courses.
Both Roberts and Andrews say dual enrollment went beyond the college credits, the savings beyond the classroom, in preparing them for college. Starting in 1988, Southside Virginia Community College has seen more than 15,000 dual enrollment students. In the fall 2011 term, there are more than 2,100 enrolled. These students take college-level courses while in high school. Tuition is paid by the local school system, in most cases in a partnership with Southside Virginia Community College.
Everybody else stand back.
More than 400 students here at SVCC have taken enough college-level courses to complete the work for a 2-year associate's degree at the same time they graduate from high school. For those planning to attend a 4-year college, it gives them college experience and enough credit hours to skip as much as 2 years at that college or university. At a Virginia average cost of $26,000 a year, that's a savings of as much as $52,000. For the students currently enrolled, it's a win for both their parents and for them.
I feel like dual enrollment classes help me to learn what college classes are like before I actually go to college.
I expect to get my associate's degree to help me go further and go ahead and get my bachelor's.
I hope dual enrollment will give me a jump on life, no matter what career path I choose to go. If I choose to go into the military, I hope it gives me an officer position. If I choose to go to a college, I hope it gives me a good opportunity to get enrolled in that college.
To really see what college is like and to get some of my credits out of the way before I go.
Mostly, I just want to be more prepared for college, and so that I won't have to stay in college as long.
I hope that it helps financially and that it gets me into a good college and I can already start on my career instead of having to worry about all the other years.
The class prepares you for college while you're in high school already, so you have a chance to understand it when you go there, so you don't feel left out.
My associate's degree so that I can spend less time in college because I have a lot of college to do.
Many opportunities involved in it, and it's exposing me to new things. It's really giving me an idea of what I want to do in the future.
I am hoping to get rid of the general education classes for college so that when I go to college I can spread out the core classes over the 4 years to lighten the load.
Terry Milroy is an assistant professor at Southside, and she teaches several dual enrollment classes.
I think dual enrollment students come in more motivated than most high school students. They know that they have something greater that they want to accomplish in life, and they are willing to put forth more effort than some high school students are. Most of them have a very specific desire of where they want to go to college or what they want to study. And so they come in hoping that the dual enrollment classes are going to give them the foundation that's going to take them to the college that they want or into the field of study that they're interested in.
As the labor market requires more and more people with training and education beyond a high school diploma, college is increasingly important. Many of these students need college preparation that dual enrollment provides. Some need the challenge. Nearly all families need the savings it presents. For more information on dual enrollment, we invite you to talk with your high school counselor or contact us at Southside Virginia Community College. We look forward to seeing you in class soon.
High school students across the valley are getting a jump start on their college education by participating in one of the best educational values around. The program? Dual enrollment. Dual enrollment allows high school students to earn college credit. Available at more than 85% of the high schools in Maricopa County, dual enrollment allows students to save both time and money. One student who has benefited from the program is former Mountain Point Student Body President Wayne Unger.
The transition from high school and transferring my credits from Rio Salado to Arizona State was really seamless. It was just as simple as submitting my transcript from Rio Salado to the undergraduate admissions office here at Arizona State, and the credits were automatically entered and transferred for me, and had no problems whatsoever.
Teachers know that dual enrollment helps students not only get a jump start on college, but it also helps them prepare for the rigors of college coursework. Larry Strom, a 20-year high school teacher, began teaching dual enrollment courses for Maricopa Community Colleges 5 years ago. He knows the student benefits of the dual enrollment program.
Dual enrollment credit turns out to be a win-win-win situation. It's a win for the student, and it's a win for the parents, and it's a win for the colleges, and it is also a win for the high school. Everyone wins. They get the privileges of being a sophomore or higher. The parent wins because there's a lot of money that can be saved, and the student has a jump start on a college degree and a major and thinking about what they want to do the rest of their life. We in high schools win because we have a more focused student.
Research has shown that dual enrollment students are better prepared to meet the future learning challenges than their classmates. Students participating in dual enrollment graduate from high school at a higher rate, attend college at a higher rate, stay in college from semester to semester at a higher rate, earn more college credits once they are in college, have higher grade point averages in college, graduate from college at a higher rate. Sandy Davis's son took dual enrollment courses in high school and enrolled at Northern Arizona University as a sophomore.
I could see him growing in his experience as far as his study skills and stuff. The classes that were dual enrollment, he took extra time for. He really put the emphasis in to study it hard and make sure that he, was keeping up with what he needed to do in order to do his dual enrollment classes.
Dual enrollment classes take place on the high school campus. Classes are held during the regular school day, and they follow a college course curriculum. They're taught by high school teachers that meet the qualifications for college faculty and earn students high school and college credit at the same time.
If your student is doing well in high school and they're handling high school, by all means test the waters with dual enrollment because it gives them a head start into college, and it gives you an easier way to move them into college as far as finances go, because you can start accumulating credits without the cost factors really there. But the biggest thing is it just helps your child grow up right before your eyes, which for me made me a great parent when it came to sending him off to college, because I was so much more secure with him going than I saw so many parents when I went to parent orientation for college, because their kids were just now starting to test the waters. Mine had done it, I saw him succeed in it, he was off.
For more information on dual enrollment courses at your high school, please talk with your high school teachers and counselors, or go to the Maricopa County Community College District dual enrollment website. Find out more information for your high school.